Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today is showing you 3 combos that you need to know to play Swordsoul. This deck is super fun to be able to play and helps you step into all sorts of insane synchro monsters to help you go in for game. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell near so you can come for our notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. If you guys would like to check out the deck profile used in this video, as always, it is down in the description down below for every combo video. So let's go ahead and get straight on into the combos. So for combo number 1, guys, we're going to start off with Swordsoul Mogi and Swordsoul Emergence. And Swordsoul Emergence could actually be a copy of Longyun, and you could achieve the exact same field, which is awesome. So what we're going to do for this combo is actually establish 2 awesome synchro monsters and a copy of Protos on our side of the field to actually establish a floodgate. So what we're going to do is go ahead and normal summon our copy of Mogi to our side of the field, and this card has the effect that if it's normally special summon, you can actually reveal a Swordsoul card or a worm monster in your hand to be able to actually special summon out a token to your side of the field, which is awesome. And all the Swordsoul tokens that you summon off your Swordsoul monsters actually are level 4 water tuners with 0 attack and 0 defense points. And while you control that tuner, you cannot special summon the X-Check except for Synchro Summon, which is totally fine because we're easily going to get them off the field because we're going to instantly step into a Synchro Summon. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and synchro away our copy of our token and our copy of Mogi to be able to summon out Grandmaster. Usually when you summon out your copy of Mogi, you always step into your copy of Grandmaster as it gives you so much advantage. So at this point, what we're going to do is go Chainlink 1 Grandmaster, Chainlink 2 Mogi to chain block and protect the search, which is very important so you can grab the exact card that you need. So for this particular draw, we're actually going to get a draw off the effect of Mogi and a search off our copy of Grandmaster, which is awesome because it actually gives us so much card advantage. So we're going to go ahead and draw, and we're going to draw any worm monster we can actually discard for the effect of our copy of Longyun. And for this particular draw, we're actually going to draw into a copy of Adahara. And it can be any of our Tenyi monsters that we can actually draw, or even a Taiye in this particular situation to go full combo, which is awesome, which is why I've actually just drawn into a copy of Adahara for this combo because it's so easy to draw into any of your Tenyi names in the deck that is not a water or a fire Tenyi, which is very important for this particular combo. Now at this point, we're going to go ahead and resolve the effect of our Grandmaster as Chainlink 1 to be able to actually add a copy of Longyun from our deck to our hand. Now what we're going to do at this point is we're actually use the effect of Longyun to be able to discard our copy of Adahara in our hand to be able to special summon Longyun to our side of the field, and Longyun will actually let us special summon directly to our side of the field a Swordsoul token, which is awesome to instantly get another Swordsoul token on our side of the field. Now at this point, we're going to go ahead and synchro again into a copy of a level 10 synchro monster, and this time we actually are going to summon out our copy of our Sinister Sovereign. Now Sinister Sovereign is awesome to be able to summon out to our side of the field, but don't forget about your copy of Longyun's Graveyard effect. If it's used as a synchro material, you actually do 1200 points of burn damage to your opponent, which is awesome because before your opponent knows it, they're actually going to take 3600 points of damage. And you might be wondering how, but that's super easy. So Longyun actually does 1200 points of burn damage when it's actually used as a synchro material. Then your copy of your Sinister Sovereign also has an insane effect that if your opponent actually special summons a monster, you can banish one of those monsters, and if you do, inflict 1200 points of damage to your opponent. And when your opponent actually activates a spell or trap card or effect, quick effect, you can actually banish that card, and if you do 1200 points of burn damage to your opponent as well, giving you the ability to do 36 points of burn damage to your opponent before they even know what happens, which is absolutely crazy. You're already halfway through the duel, and your opponent hasn't even really played any cards. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and activate our copy of Swordsoul Emergence. And this is actually the Rhoda of the deck, letting us add a Swordsoul monster from our deck to our hand, or if you control a synchro monster, you can add a worm monster instead, which is awesome because we're actually going to use this effect to be able to add our copy of Protos from our deck to our hand, because this card is actually a worm. And at this point, we're actually going to banish from our graveyard a water, an earth, and a fire monster, because this card has the ability that it cannot be normal summon or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different attributes from your graveyard, which is so easy to do in this build because we only play 1 of the water Tinyi and 1 of the fire Tinyi in this particular build. So it's very easy to actually pull off. This could have been the light Tinyi, could have been the dark Tinyi, could have been the new Tinyi Spirit, could be any of those cards that you actually draw into when you draw near a copy of Adahara, which is insane. So this card is awesome. And also the reason why I said at the beginning of the combo that your copy of Emergence could be Longyun is because your copy of your Grandmaster could have actually searched Emergence when it was actually summoned if you started out with the copy of Longyun, meaning these 2 cards in this particular combo are interchangeable. So at this point, what we're going to do is go ahead and banish all 3 of our monsters from the graveyard to be able to add our copy of our Protos to our hand. And once we've added it, we're just going to banish those 3 and summon out our copy of Protos to our side of the field to be able to special summon it out to our side of the field. And we still have a Swordsoul card in the graveyard to be able to use our copy of Grandmaster as a negate, because this card has the ability that basically it's a walking negate, because it has the ability, it would synchro summon. You can add from your hand or banish a Swordsoul card from your deck, and quick effect, you can actually banish a Swordsoul card or a worm monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then target 1 other effect monster on the field and negate its effects, which is insane. Now at this point, the most common type that you're actually going to run into, or attribute that you're going to run into with your copy of Protos, is actually going to be dark. We don't want to call light because we'll end up destroying our copy of Grandmaster, and we don't want to call fire because we don't want to destroy our copy of our Sinister Sovereign unless we already know what we're playing up against. So why it's called dark? Because this card cannot be destroyed by a card effect, so it actually protects itself from its own card effect, giving us a double banish, a monster negate, and a floodgate for dark monsters, which is actually insane. So for our second combo, guys, we're going to start off with a copy of Longyun and Ashina, and this is actually going to summon out 2 synchro monsters to our side of the field, which is insane. So what we're going to do for this particular combo is activate the effect of Longyun to be able to discard our copy of Ashina from our hand. And this is going to let us special summon out our copy of our Longyun while also summoning out a Swordsoul token. But we're actually not going to go into a synchro play right here, because we have our copy of Ashina in the graveyard that can actually go off because our token is actually a non-effect monster. And this card has the ability that if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can actually banish this card from your hand to the graveyard to be able to special summon a Tinyi monster from the deck. Except a copy of this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for worm monsters, which is not that big of a deal. So what we're going to do is go ahead and banish it since we control a token on our side of the field. And once we do, we're actually going to special summon out from our deck a copy of Shathana. Now, Shathana is a level 4 monster that we can actually use as a synchro material because this card is a level 4 tuner, and this card is just a level 4 monster. So what we're going to do is go ahead and use both of these on our side of the field to actually step into a synchro play, which is awesome. So now we're going to bring out our copy of Grandmaster. Now, Grandmaster is great in this particular situation because this card has the ability, and if this card is synchro summoned, you can actually add to your hand or banish a Swordsoul card from the deck, which is great that we can actually banish a card. So we're actually going to use its effect to banish a copy of Swordsoul Blackout. Now, Swordsoul Blackout is great in this particular situation because if this card is banished, you can actually special summon a Swordsoul token. It is a Worm Tuner, Water, level 4 with 0 attack and 0 defense points. So we're going to go ahead and banish our copy of Swordsoul Blackout to get another token on our side of the field. And at this point, you probably see how we're getting another synchro monster out. We're actually going to go ahead and synchro our copy of Longyun plus our copy of our token on our side of the field to instantly step into a copy of our Sinister Sovereign. Sinister Sovereign is one of the most powerful cards in the entire extract because this card is a double banish, and also you get 1200 points of burn damage just like in the first combo with your copy of Longyun. So just off of this combo, we've actually established a walking negate for monsters. We've actually established a double banish that does 2400 points of burn damage, and we've done 1200 points of burn damage to our opponent. So again, our opponent's going to take about 3600 points of burn damage off of both of these cards. And then we've also established a walking negate with 3 extra cards still in our hand that we can actually use that could be hand traps. So for our last combo, guys, we're going to start off with Swordsoul, Taie, and a copy of Vashuda. And this time, we're actually going to establish an insane board, and we're even going to link summon, which is so cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and special summon another copy of Vashuda to our side of the field, which can be any Tingy monster in the entire deck that we can special summon to our side of the field, as we're going to immediately use it as a link material to get it in our graveyard for the effect of Taie. So what we're going to do is go ahead and summon our copy of Monk of the Tingy to our side of the field, and now we're going to go ahead and normal summon our copy of Taie. Now we're going to use the effect of Taie to banish our copy of Vashuda from the graveyard to actually generate us a token on our side of the field, which is great. Now at this point, what we're going to do is immediately go in for a synchro play, which is going to be so cool because we actually step into a copy of Grandmaster. Grandmaster is such a powerful card to be able to establish on your side of the field, as this card is just basically a walking negate, which is just so cool. Now we're going to go ahead and activate the effect of Grandmaster's Chainlink 1 and Taie is Chainlink 2 to be able to send from our deck to the graveyard a copy of Adahara off the effect of Taie, and then add from our deck to our hand our copy of Longyun, which is going to help us out a lot. And you might be looking at this and going, well, you don't have anything in your hand to actually discard off the effect of Longyun, but you actually do. So what we're going to do is go ahead and banish our copy of Adahara from the graveyard, since we control a non-effect monster, to actually add our copy of Vashuda back to our hand, because this card has an insane effect that if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can actually banish this card from the hand of the graveyard, target one of your banished worm monsters, accept this card, and add it back to your hand, letting you actually recover our copy of Vashuda back to our hand. Now we're immediately going to actually discard this card to special summon out our copy of Longyun to our side of the field, which is also going to give us a token on the field, and then we're going to use both of these monsters again to be able to synchro summon into a copy of the Sinister Sovereign. Sinister Sovereign is just such a good card, and we're also going to do 1200 points of burn damage to the opponent off the effect of Longyun, putting our opponent at 6,800 life points, while also having a double banish and a monster negate, and also having a bounce with the effect of Vashuda, depending on the Tingy that you started out with. It can be any Tingy that you can special summon to your side of the field, from a copy of this card, your Vashuda, to Shathana, or even your copy of Ashna, depending on what you have in your hand. It doesn't really matter as long as you have a copy of Taie and a copy of a Tingy that you can actually special summon out to your side of the field. And the other three cards can be anything else between hand traps, which is just actually insane to be able to establish. But in this particular field, we have a double banish. We've done 1200 points of burn damage to the opponent. We're going to do an additional 2400 points of burn damage off the effect of our Sinister Sovereign. We have a monster negate for our copy of Grandmaster. We have established our copy of Monk, which turns our copy of Vashuda online to be able to use it as a bounce, which is just actually insane. So that's going to do for this one, guys. I hope you did learn something about Swordsoul. It's such a fun deck to be able to play, to be able to use your Tingy monsters with the Swordsoul cards, to be able to step into some insane synchro plays and even some link plays, which is so cool. It's one of my favorite decks ever created. It just has such beautiful artwork, and it just makes some insane boards to be able to establish some insane fields to help you go in for game. So that's gonna be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can come for our notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. If you guys would like to check out the deck profile used in this video, as always, it is down in the description down below for every combo and test stand video, so definitely check it out. So that's gonna do this one, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.